OK，古桑菜手呢就主要把它吃都，还11分钟一直红了是 OK，估计那弄做那忙着那汤了是，估计让这头摊子去我娘去我往我这去我去了，对，是好像别多真的红的是，多多他妈那还讨好多，这好了 OK，so 古当到来了嘛，找你哥了。你还本养龙都用了走，养了再用了几节，干年这年这干年有给没了，看了搞去到这了啥上来了，you know 个种一样的故事，you know when I was a little kid I always believed that if I be honest. If I work very hard, go to school, study hard, tell the truth, be honest, and when I go to college, graduate, get a degree, and I'm gonna get a good job and have a good life. That's how I was taught in school, and that's how people and my parents told me that. See, but life doesn't work like that, guys. You have been controlled by the shadow government and crypto, Pac-Man. So, no matter how smart you are, no matter how successful you are, you can't never get anywhere. That's why I couldn't figure out why I always get in trouble all my life, because if I see something and people ask me, do you see it? And I keep saying, yeah, I see it. This is what happened. And those people get in trouble and then they come back and, beat me up or sabotage me or set me up. That's how I always have enemy. But I believe the world that if you've been honest and if you tell the truth and you work very hard, people's gonna like you and you're gonna be successful. But that's not how the real world works, guys. That's why you gotta turn a blind eye. You know how they always say monkey no see, monkey no talk, monkey no hear. I heard that term before, but I didn't believe that until I just figured out all my life. After 40 years of bullshit. Why I always get in trouble. I never be successful. Why I always have enemy. When I'm being, the most truthful, honest person. Because this world's a fucked up world. It's a doggy dog world where everything's backward. Where you gotta rape, rob, steal, cheat, lie, to get on the top. If you play straight, you're gonna drown. So I learned the hard way, that you gotta lie, cheat, steal, scam, rape, rob, kill, That's how all the successful people are. That's why they're at the top of the food chain, because they rape, rob, steal, scam, fraud people, and lie, deceive people. You have to be able to be kind, because that's just how life works, real life works. I learned the hard way, just like me, I'm very successful. I have two businesses. I have a security business, I have a janitorial business, and look where I'm at, They only give the contract to their buddy, I provide the best service in town. I have the best customer service, the best structure of the company, and like they give F, They get contracted their buddy system, and they go fishing together. They sleep in bed together. They go work out together, and that's how they keep their contract, and they stay in the buddy system. Just like every job I work, I get fired. I couldn't figure out why, but I found out that it's the buddy system. They don't care if you're the smartest person in the universe. They don't give a F. You can run all the machine in the company like they give a F. Just like all my coworkers just showed up to pull a paycheck. They don't even work. They make themselves look good. They're just sitting on their ass and playing games and watching movies on YouTube, and they're getting raised like every month. Well, I'm busting my ass and I run like 3 machines. I'm getting fired. You know, everything's backward in life, guys. You know, it's an effed up world. You see all this politician, all this CEO, all this big dog, the 1%, because they cheat, lie, rape, and rob and scam people. That's why they're at the top of the food chain. Well, the rest of the people are on the bottom of the food chain. You know, they don't care about you. You see, people are very stupid. You know, people believe all their politicians, believe all the government, believe the dirty cop pigs. You know, I used to believe that the cops are the good guys to protect the people, but it's the other way around. They are dirty, corrupted pigs who work. They are the real gangsters that work for the thugs, you know, the government. The real gangsters are the people in suit in office. Because what happens if they dress like a thug on the street, people's going to be scared, right? That's why they got to be in suit. But they are the real criminal. All these business people are the real thugs, real criminal who rape and rob the people. So, but people don't want to accept the truth. People want to live in denial when the truth is in front of their face, you know. As long as the government people deny, it ain't gonna be real. You know, this is how stupid people are. You know, people believe everything on the news. You know, people will believe everything they hear on the news. It's full of BS. You know, but you know, I'm just very angry. You know, I'm always successful in life. You know, everything I do, but all these shadow government people, if I move one step up, they knock me down 100 steps, you know. That's why I can't never get anywhere, you know. But I just want to show you how the rest of the people are suffering, you know. Everybody's in the shithole. Well, that one top percent, you know, they're at the top of the food chain, and there's no middle class. They want to make you believe that there's a middle class, but the truth is there's no middle class. You're either at the top or you're at the bottom of the food chain. And that 1% is at the top of the food chain, while the rest is in the shithole. So I'm just very angry. I just want to show you how much the people suffer, you know, and why I can never success in life, you know. It took me 40 years just to figure out how the world really works, you know. Because everything in life is a lie. It's a deception, you know. So, yeah, I just want to show you guys here and there how, you know, how it is and where I'm at. So, you know, why I become homeless. Why can't I never be successful? Okay, guys. All right, see you guys later.